Hi folks, my name's Karen Case. I am going to be your instructor facilitator over the next 8 weeks for your Comp 2105 database course using Microsoft Access. Um, I am housed at the Strait Area campus down in Port Hawkesbury, so I suspect you are all coming from different parts of the province. So welcome, and again, as we move forward through the course, this is an asynchronous course. So the structure will be no class time in terms of instruction um, or set times for us to meet. So you basically will be self-directing yourselves over the next 8 weeks and each of the 4 modules. We have 4 modules that we'll be completing. And essentially each module I have set up for 2-week periods. So we'll go through some of that just to get a sense of kind of what the layout is. And basically it's the same for every module, and you'll see all the due dates have been set up in the Brightspace. They will also be in the platform we'll be using called MindTap. But before we get to that, again, this is just really a welcome to also highlight a couple of key important pieces to begin this course. I did email everybody last week regarding this course and the textbook that is necessary to complete the course. The book details are also going to be housed here under the course outline or work plan, which I'll go to in a moment. But again, as I noted in the email last week, to complete this course, you do need to have an access code that comes along with the purchase of the textbook. If you do not have the book, you can't do the course, plain and simple. So again, if there's a delay as well, that'll also impact being able to stay on task and to also be able to complete things on time. That is why I sent the email out last week. I haven't heard from anybody at this point, so I'm assuming everybody's going to have access to the book and to the code that comes along with it. Those two pieces are absolutely crucial. The other crucial piece to note, as you can see up here in red, is that this course uses Microsoft Access software, and it only runs on a Windows-based computer. So sometimes students who have used Apple products in the past or Apple computers can run into problems. You can use it with an Apple, but there's generally glitches that will happen, and NSCC doesn't provide any technical support for Apple and highly recommends that you use a Windows-based computer. And that also was something I sent in the email last week. Your campuses that you're attached to may have a computer loaner program, which we have at our Strait campus, so that might be an option. Otherwise, you can continue through the course, but just note that your mark may be reduced, or it may impact your mark based on the compatibility of Apple with MindTap as well as Brightspace, frankly. So just know that. If you have questions, you can certainly connect with me, but I'm not going to be able to support you using an Apple computer if you have technical issues. So I just need you to know that right off the bat, and that the suggestion is, and as was sent out before students begin their programs, is that this is a Windows-based college and that PCs are recommended over Apple products. Why that is above my pay grade. So that's the very most important piece that you need to know right now is you need the book you need a new book. You can't use a used book because the used book will have a used access code. So if you had a textbook from this past year, you had the Microsoft Office 365 book, then you can certainly, and you had the access code and you've already been in MindTap, then you're all set. You should be able to register for my course, no problem. However, if you're new to all of this, I'm going to take you through that in another video in the next module. As you can see here, registering for MindTap, I'm going to take you through that part. There'll be a video inside this module as well. To assist with that. I'll also be doing a video on how to use MindTap and the textbook with this course. So those will be 2 instructional videos to get started. Yeah, so again, the welcome really does have some kind of a bit of the information around what what we're working with here. So we have 8 weeks. We start today, the 24th of April, and we end on the last quiz is due on Monday, June 19th. All of the dates are in your Brightspace calendar, as well as the course outline, which is just below. All of our coursework will be completed in and using MindTap. So again, I will have a video showing us how to go through that and to access the files that you're going to need to complete each of the modules. And I'll talk about how that works with the textbook and also assignments and quizzes. There's a brief description around what Microsoft Access is and what we'll be doing. So basically this is an introduction course. This is definitely an introductory level. The one thing I will note about using Access, because if you've never used it, it's going to be very unfamiliar, and it's like learning a bit of a new language. So the important part as you go through each of the module is that you are actually reading the module content. There's the theory part and the reasons why you're asked to do certain steps and tasks within Access. So make sure that you are reading through that material before you jump in and start trying to begin. And I will be available for support obviously during the week. So just maybe on that note, Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, I'm available. If you want to meet specifically at a specific time, then you can contact me and we can set up an appointment. If my green light is on in Teams, generally that green means go, and I'm available, so you can always connect with me if you need some support. I will tell you from my experiences that usually in the beginning of this course in using Access is just the getting started part that tends to be a struggle for folks, which is, again, because we're going to be using an alternate platform called MindTap. But nonetheless, once we kind of get over that beginning part, it usually becomes pretty smooth sailing. As long as you're aware of your due dates and when things are coming up, because it does go very fast. This is a 30-hour course being completed in over 8 weeks. Okay. I'm just going to open up this is the course description, so you can go in there to take a look at the details around the course itself, the rationale, the description, the rationale, and the learning outcomes. Each of these learning outcomes are associated with each of the modules, so you'll see that noted in the Part B course outline. So I'll take you back to that. The Course B, the course outline or the work plan, as most of you know if you've been taking courses so far at the college, look a lot like this. Here is the information on your textbook, which I did send to you in an email last week. The breakdown of what we will be doing in terms of the percentage and what things are worth. That's also noted in your Brightspace grades, or the grades section of your Brightspace. For the most part, we only use Brightspace as a place to do a Q&A for each modules. If people have questions, they can post them in there. I also have, again, videos and other resources located, but all the work essentially is going to be submitted to MindTap. You won't be submitting any assignments to your Brightspace. Everything will be submitted there, which I will go over in the video when we get to that part. But you can note here, again, very important to note all your due dates. So you can see I have them set up for 2-week periods. The due dates are smattered about over those 2 weeks. So basically, the beginning of each new module, the textbook project is due that Friday. Then there's an assignment that is directly related to the work you did in the project that is due the following Thursday. And then you have until that following Monday to complete the quiz. These are all open and in MindTap. So some folks, and everybody is going to go through this course at a different pace. However, within the range that we have set up in terms of our due dates. So some people may jump ahead. I certainly have had students who've said, you know what, I'm going to knock off module 1 and 2 over the next week. And, that's absolutely doable. But again, everybody's going to be at a different spot. So just note, number one, that when the due dates are. Just like other courses that you've had, most likely there are late penalties for late submissions. We have a 20% per day late submission. So any after 3 days, basically, or after things have been um, graded and given back. But essentially with MindTap, you'll note that once you submit it, you get the mark back, and I will show you that in the video when we talk about using MindTap. But nonetheless, after 3 days, essentially that's 60% off your mark. So you're getting close to really not having much of a mark at all. So again, if something's coming up or you are unable to submit, don't wait until after the fact, because I can't help you and I can assist you if you are coming to me with a request to submit something after the fact. It will be a late penalty, 20% per day. Again, I know that things happen, life happens. This is a very short course, so it's really important that communication is open and that you communicate with me early if something's coming up, or if you're unable to submit something on time within reason. We can certainly discuss that and take a look. But in general, these are your due dates, and you should make note of those, and wherever you keep yourself organized, whether it's in your course, your Outlook calendar, or your own, wherever you organize yourself, make note of the dates. Because again, this is a very quick course, and there's not a lot of time to maneuver if you are late with assignments or missing assignments, and playing catch up becomes very difficult in a spring semester course if you have not taken one before. So it's a little more intense than taking a 15-week course. So just keep that in mind as well, and to communicate with me. Just going to go back to the welcome page. So that's basically, I just wanted to say hello, show my face, put a face to the voice. The other videos that I'm going to do, I won't have my my screen on, but I will be going through with the Cast-O-Matic and basically taking you through some of those steps. So after the welcome, go through the welcome, looking at the course outline, make note of the due dates, and also taking a look at some of the different modules. You can see I have several things to left-hand side in terms of modules before you actually get into these modules. Again, as I said, these modules here basically are just housing some supporting resources, etc. But all of the work we'll be doing essentially will be in MindTap, and I'll do that in the next video. So I'll have a video in the registering for MindTap. So inside this module at the bottom, I will have a link. I haven't done it yet. So I'm working on those right now, which I'm actually in last week. So just so you know. I will have a video posted in here for you to review around this process above, which is the registering for MindTap. I will also have a video in how to use MindTap and the textbook in this course. There's a lot of information in here, but I will also have a video at the bottom for you to click on to also help you to get started. These are going to be really important on today, the 24th of April, to get these things in place. You really shouldn't wait to do these things, because the textbook training for Module 1 is due on Friday the 28th, so you will need to get started. And I've been through all of these modules, and essentially the first module is really the easiest in terms of the textbook project, and really, even if you've never used Access, maybe an hour to go through that. So just keep note of that. But just remember that there are videos within each of these, the registering for MindTap and the how to use MindTap in the textbook course are going to be posted in there. I also have some other resources here that you can go through. These are, this is a video on changing your date setting on your computer. Just double check to make sure that your date setting is correct, because that can sometimes cause issues with MindTap, as well as adjusting your settings on your personal computer. Again, most likely it's fine, but these are just sometimes have happened in the past. So thank you, and move on to the next module to kind of